Hey everyone, my name is Suyash and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the continuation of the previous video about ADK evaluation. In this video, we are going to do a hands-on demo on how to evaluate an AI agent in ADK. We will look at how to create test cases. We will look at the schema of the eval set. We will look at how to run ADK evaluation using command line interface. How does the results look like and how to interpret those results to improve our AI agents and move them closer to production. Let's get started. So today we are going to do a hands-on demo on how to evaluate an AI agent using ADK Web UI as well as the ADK command line interface. This is a continuation of the previous video. In the previous video, we covered the high-level concepts of ADK evaluation. We covered how AI agent evaluation is different from traditional software, what are the approaches that ADK provides, what are the different evaluation metrics. And in this hands-on demo, we will use a few of those metrics. So do check out the previous video. Now, in this video, we are going to pick an agent that we have already implemented in one of the previous tutorials. Specifically, we will use the agent that we built in the function tools tutorial, the second tutorial, which is the finance agent. Do check out the video for specific details about this agent. But in short, as part of the finance assistant, we have defined 3 tools. And today we will create test cases for these tools and we will run the evaluation using a few evaluation metrics, evaluation criteria, and we'll see the report and understand the output. So let's head over to ADK Web UI where we will create the test cases. Now this is the ADK Web UI and we have selected the finance assistant. If you click on the eval tab, it asks us to create a new eval set. Now in the previous video, we saw that there are 2 approaches to test AI agents. First approach is to create test files, multiple test files. Each of this test file may have a single session and a simple session, whereas the second approach is using an eval set, which may have multiple sessions and complex sessions. Okay, so ADK Web UI allows us to create an eval set. So let's do that. How we will do this is I will interact with the finance assistant agent in multiple sessions and I will add each session into the eval set. Okay, let me show you how to do this for a few examples. Now, if you look at the README file, we have 2 test scenarios for each of the tool. One is a happy scenario and one is a negative scenario. Okay. Now, what I will do is I will copy these prompts there. We will try to understand how the agent responds and then we'll add that session to the eval set. Okay. So let me do that now. So let's create the eval set. I will pick this name, metrics demo eval set v1. Okay. Now that we have created the eval set, we will add sessions. So let's take a few examples. The first one is we'll test the compound interest tool and we will run this prompt which says if I invest 15,000 at 0.07% annual interest for 10 years, how much will I have and how much interest will I earn? Okay, so this is a happy scenario. As we see, it correctly called the calculate compound interest tool, which it was supposed to call. Now what we will do is, since this is a happy path, since this is the expected output, we will add the current session, this session to the eval set. Okay. And let's name the session as CI, which is compound interest, happy scenario, annual interest, 10 years. Okay. So now this session got added to the eval set. Let me do this for a few more sessions and then we will go into the eval set file and understand its structure and schema. All right. Let me add a negative scenario for the same tool, calculate compound interest. And for that, I'll have to create a new session. Okay. So let me enter this prompt. Now it's negative because we have specified an annual rate which is more than 100%. Now let's see what the agent responds. So we see that the agent correctly did not call the tool and it asked for a confirmation. It said that you have entered an annual interest rate which is more than 100%. So it is asking for a confirmation, which is what should actually happen. So let's add this session to the eval set as well. Let's pick the name CI, compound interest, negative scenario, invalid rate. Okay, and let's use that name for this eval case. Now, similarly, we can add the other test scenarios, and let me do that ahead of time. And I will show you how the eval set JSON looks like. Okay, so we have added all the test scenarios here. There are in total 6 test scenarios, and you can find those scenarios in our README file. I just went ahead and added them for you ahead of time. Just a note, the prefix of the test name refers to the tool for which the test belongs to. Now you will observe that ADK Web automatically created this EvalSet file. So let's look at it. Now what I will do is I will show you the schema of the EvalSet as well as eval case, which is specified in the documentation, and we'll compare side by side on the schema and the actual eval set. So on the right hand side, you see the pydantic model of eval set. And if we quickly compare them, here you see that the first key is eval set ID. So we have eval set ID, then we have name, right? Then we have the description. Here we don't have the description. We have the eval cases, right? Which you see here. And then we have the creation timestamp. So if I just collapse this, you see there is a creation timestamp. Now, if we look at eval case is slightly extensive. One important note is eval cases is a list. That's why you see a list here, and it is a list of multiple sessions or multiple cases. Now let's look at what each of the case has. You have an eval ID. So there's an eval ID. This is the test case name that we gave. Next, we have conversation and conversation scenario. Now, either of these have to be specified. Conversation scenario is for user simulation, which we are not doing here. So we have specified a conversation, which is of the type static conversation. We'll look at it in a moment. Then we have session input. So if I just collapse this, you see there is session input, the app name and the user ID, and then there's creation timestamp. And then there are some optional keys. Now, if we look at static conversation, it is a list of invocation. And if I look at invocation, you will see that there is an invocation ID that we see here. Invocation is a single turn of a conversation. There is user content, which is of the type genai types content, which is pretty common, which we have seen. There is paths and so on. Then there is final response, okay, which is a final response from the agent as we see. This was a final response from the agent. Next, we have intermediate data, and intermediate data has invocation events. So you see invocation events is actually a list of invocation event. And if I look at invocation event, we have the author, right, which is a finance assistant. And then we have the content, which is our usual genai types.content. And that's why you see that this should look familiar, right? That's why you see the contents, the parts, and what is happening within each of the event, right? There's a function call, and then there is a function response, and so on. So this is how the eval set is structured. So I hope that now you are a bit more comfortable on how this eval set looks like. And we leverage the ADK Web UI to create this eval set rather than manually creating it. Now that we have the eval set created, we can go ahead with the agent evaluation. Now we can do that inside the ADK Web UI as well. Okay, so if I select all the case IDs and if I do run evaluation, you will see that there are two fixed evaluation criteria: the tool trajectory average score and the response match score. By the way, we have discussed all the evaluation criteria that ADK provides in the previous video, so do check it out. By now it should be familiar, but it provides us with two options. Now, if I want to add an additional evaluation criteria, I cannot do that as part of the ADK Web UI. So what I will do now is I will use the ADK eval command line interface to run the evaluation. Okay. We will use the ADK eval CLI command to run the evaluation where we specify the agent, we specify our eval set location, and then we specify the config file path. Now, if I look at the config file, you will see that whichever evaluation criteria we want to use to evaluate the agent, we have specified it here. So we have the tool trajectory average score, we have the response match score. Now these two are provided by the ADK Web UI already. We have added another criteria, which is a final response match V2. Now this uses a judge LLM to compare the expected and the actual response. And we will generate a report at the end where we will be able to compare these two metrics. Now let's go ahead and run the ADK eval CLI command. So we have run the ADK eval command. It will take a bit of time because we have three evaluation criteria, and especially the LLM judge based criteria takes some time. So you will see a detailed report in the command line, the summary, and for each of the test case, what were the score and so on. Now it's a bit difficult to understand and visualize this. So what we have done is we have created a small helper code which creates a HTML based report where we can view these evaluation results in a much better manner. Now, just to show you, if you go to eval history inside .adk, you will see that for each of the test case, a result eval set was created. Now we will use these result sets to create a HTML report. So you can run this command, which runs a Python file, a helper Python file, and renders the report. I have run this command and I will show you how the report looks. So this is how the report looks. We tested or we evaluated 6 cases and you see the pass rate. Now I will show you reason why this is so low. Now let's look at one test case at a time and try to understand the score. Let's look at LP negative invalid term. Okay. Now, if I look at this test case and I will try to side by side also see what was the prompt and what was the agent response. So LP negative invalid term. In this, we had given an invalid term of 0 years and no tool call was made. Now, here we see that there is just one invocation. If you look at the table, you see that there are these three criteria which we had configured. There are two scopes, one is overall and one is invocation level. Now, typically, if we had multiple invocations, then the overall score would be the arithmetic mean of all the invocations. But because we have a single invocation, the score for overall scope and invocation is the same. So we can just focus on one of the scope. Let's look at the invocation level score. So on the left hand side here, this is what the test case that we saved in the eval set had, which is the expected, and actual is what the AI agent responded or the process it went through when we ran the evaluation. So you see that in the evaluation, the agent did not do any tool call. And even in the session that we added as part of the golden set, no tool call was made. And that's why you see that the tool trajectory average score has a score of 1 and the threshold was also 1. So it was a strict threshold and it did pass. Okay. So if you just look at the invocation level score, the tool trajectory average score was a pass because we see that there was no tool call. Now, when we look at the expected final response, the expected final response said that the term needs to be greater than 0 and it asked for how many years you would like to set for the loan term. Okay. Now when we ran the evaluation, the actual final response also in meaning meant the same thing. So if you go through it, it looks like a loan term of 6 years is invalid. Could you please provide the loan term in years? So from a word similarity perspective, they are very different, the expected and actual. And that is why you see that the response match score is low. It's below the threshold, and that's why it was a fail. But in reality, semantically, the meaning was same. It was similar, and that's why the final response match V2 score was 1 and it was a pass. This was one because an LLM was used to compare these responses, and the LLM judge can understand that meaning wise they are very similar. So we see how these two response metrics are different, okay, and they should be used carefully depending on the use case. If we look at one of the test case which passed, MS happy goal 50K 3 years, this one, this is a happy case. And so you will see that if I look at the details, there was tool call in both the cases, and the final response was also almost exactly similar. And that is why both the response match score and the final response match V2 passed. Let's look at just one more failure scenario. So if we look at CI, happy case, annual 10 years. Let's see happy annual 10 years. Now this one is interesting because here the final response related metrics, both the criteria actually passed, but the tool trajectory was incorrect. If you see the parameters here, there is an extra parameter compounds per year 1, which was expected, but in the actual tool call, this parameter was not considered. So this is the scenario where the final response was correct, but I believe the agent assumed that the compounds per year is 1, but it did not really consider that parameter when doing a tool call. So in this way, you can create test cases, you can run evaluation, and then you can clearly debug and understand the failure scenarios. And then we can go through the iterative improvement process until all of the test cases pass multiple times so that our AI agent is robust and is production ready. You can go through rest of the test cases. I will upload this HTML report. And by the way, if you follow the steps in the README file, you will be able to recreate all the artifacts that we created as part of this video. That's it for today. I hope you are much more clear on how AI agents are evaluated, what are the different evaluation criteria, and I hope this hands-on gave a better understanding of how the score is, how the final report is, and how to understand where our AI agent is failing and hence improve our AI agent. If you found this video helpful, do like, do subscribe, and stay tuned for more such impactful tutorials. Thank you.